Okay, I am warning you now. I may have imbibed in a little too much liquid courage in order to convince myself that it was a good idea to speak into a hot microphone without a script. Not a good idea initially without alcohol, but even with alcohol, it gets worse. So, and I'm not going to edit this. I'm not even going to cut out my breaths. So, whatever comes out of my mouth is what you're going to listen to. So, let's have some fun, shall we? Taking a swig there. You guys seem to enjoy that last video about demo night. I'm really happy with how it came out. I mean, it honestly it took a lot out of me. God, it's just it was easily my biggest video in terms of length, scope, and scale. And I've learned that I don't think I want to make videos that long ever again if it's gonna require that much editing. And maybe not that much editing, but just that much time. The time between my last, special video, I'm going to call them specials now, like how Top Gear calls them specials, because you have my other videos that aren't nearly as heavily edited or scripted, right? And those kind of fill the time in the interim. But then you have my bigger special videos that most people watch and most people kind of expect from me at this point, right? And the amount of time, which was over 6 months between the last one and the demo night video, was just too long. And I feel like I'm doing you guys a disservice, and I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by stressing myself the fuck out by thinking I'm doing you guys a disservice by just taking too long. And listen, the video it was so fun to edit that stuff. It was a real big stretch for me to go topless, shirtless in front of, tens of thousands of people. But people liked that castaway bit that my sister so wonderfully drew a spy mask for, about being dumped on a deserted island by Redditors, and people liked it, and people got a laugh out of it, and I'm really happy. And I've already lost my train of thought. God damn it. But people liked it, and I'm happy that I could entertain. I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm really happy with the editing. I think it's my best work yet in terms of editing. And but again, it's just too much. And I'm copying Monkey right now, if you haven't noticed. Monkey put out a video the other day of him opening boxes for some filler. So I figured I'd do the same thing. Maybe I'll do more videos like this where I just kind of speak into a hot mic and just kind of dump my thoughts at you, because people seem to like those too. What's been on my mind lately is the whole just where we are in terms of Team Fortress 2. Many people have made like the state of TF2, where we are with TF2 and what have you, but right now where we are is very much a make or break time for the game, because a couple months ago we had that whole Save TF2 debacle, right? And in my eyes, in my opinion, it really doesn't seem to have done much, and I'll elaborate on that in a moment. But it's make or break, because it's really up to Valve now with whether or not this game is going to keep flourishing for another extended period of time. It's now up to them to figure out or to decide what the fuck they're going to do with TF2, if anything at all, or if they're just going to keep the trend going from the past 5 years and continue to give us the bare minimum level of maintenance. And that's what started off the whole Save TF2 thing, right? Valve, for the past 5 years, has been providing us with the bare minimum level of maintenance, below that, far below that, for this game that they provide active support for and take our money for it, right? It's optional. Don't give them their money if you don't want to. But the fact they still ask us for our money while providing a game that was broken, that is still broken for years, is fucking ridiculous. And that's what set off the whole Save TF2 thing, right? People were fed up with Valve just not doing anything and still expecting people to spend money on the game. Last Scream Fortress was fucking unplayable because of the bots, and that was like the tipping point. Tipping point for me was that. It was horrible. Let me take a swig here. I got some more liquid courage. That was the tipping point, man. And then the whole Save TF2 thing drummed up, and it went from there. So the whole Save TF2 thing went off, right? But it seemed like for the first couple of days that Valve really seemed perfectly content on just not doing anything, on not acknowledging any of the tweets. There were tens of thousands of people making hundreds of thousands of tweets, and it blew up. It was #1 trending. It was big. You had big YouTubers covering it. It was a big fucking deal, right? But Valve didn't do anything. Valve didn't do a thing until, excuse me, Valve didn't do a thing until someone showed up at their fucking offices. It took someone to show up at Valve's offices for them to dust off their Twitter account and then make a tweet. Because no one thought, and I think the guy that showed up, he dressed up as the spy, he had like a sign. He wasn't being malicious, he felt like he wasn't doing anything wrong, and that's fine. He wasn't being mean, he was very courteous, that's all well and good, great. And most people were like cheering that on, like, yeah, you did a good thing, but like very few people like put themselves in the headspace of Valve employees, like, oh shit, there's a lot of people pissed off at us on the internet right now, and one of them just showed up at our office, they know where we work? Oh, fuck, this isn't good. You know, it probably freaked them the fuck out. And it wasn't just one guy either. Inside of that fucking TF2 Discord, there was another creator. I'm not going to say who was in there. I'm not going to say who it was because that's never a good idea. Another creator showed up at their offices and sat down in their lobby for hours waiting for someone to talk to with like a gift bag, right? If you have multiple people showing up at Valve during this entire debacle where you have thousands, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people pissed off at them, how do you think they're going to feel? They're not going to feel comfortable if people start showing up in person. So naturally, in order to stave that off, they dust off the Twitter account and make a tweet saying, hey, whoa, okay, we hear you. We know you love the game. We're going to work on it now. It's like that was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Sure, you got what you wanted. You got Valve to squirt out a tweet. You got Valve to squirt out a few extra patches that ultimately haven't changed much, and frankly haven't changed much. They fixed the Iron Bomber. FPS on skeletons have increased. They gave us a decent hat box. It seems like they managed to break some of the bots by fixing SV cheats exploits that should have been fixed years ago. You know, again, that bare minimum level of maintenance they should have been doing that they didn't want to do until they wanted to stave off people from showing up in person at their offices. Fuck, man. God. It's like, and it's so annoying too. It's annoying to me that like that is enough. That is enough for Valve to fall back into the good graces of the community, right? And it's still not the popular opinion to be negative about this. That Valve has continued to show, even until now, that they do not give a fuck about TF2. You know how I know? They put one guy. They put one guy on TF2. And not even full time. The guy they put on TF2 is a part-time contractor who was hired to work on the Steam Deck, who they then reallocated over to Team Fortress 2. One guy. Valve could only spare a single set of hands to work on this game. It's like, oh, fuck it, we may as well do this so we can at least make it look like we're staying true to our word. But you know what? To the guy working on the game, thank you. Fuck the company you work for. Fuck how Valve operates. They suck. They're horrible. But thank you for working on the game. Everyone appreciates what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for even dipping a toe into the hot, steaming mess that is TF2. Everyone cannot thank you enough. Thank you for even just for what you've done. Really, we truly appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. But fuck Valve, because they could only spare you. They can only spare one guy and only part of the time. That pisses me off. And very few people seem to realize that. It's like, okay, they got one guy to work on the game, and that's it. That's it. And not even full time. And it's like, they think a few extra patches, they think a decent hat box is like, okay, great, Valve's working on the game again. No. It's already been over a month since the last patch they pushed out, right? And yes, I understand. Quick swig here. And yes, I understand. It's going to take time, right? It's going to take time for it to show whether or not Valve is going to continue working on the game. But up until now, and what the past 5 years have shown us, again, why I tend to reserve my optimism towards the state of the game right now, is that Valve does not care. They only care about milking the game for money, and it's really, really fucking depressing because I want this game to last as long as possible. I want TF2 to be around, I mean, forever would be great. I love this game. It's super fucking fun. Every time I boot up the game, I have a new experience. I have some level of interesting interactions. I have fun. And I love making videos about it. I love talking about the game. I've met lifelong friends through TF2, man. And seeing the way it's been treated and how it continues to be treated is just fucking heartbreaking. Especially when it comes from a company that is just not doing their fucking job. It really pisses me off. You know? It is ultimately depressing. It really is. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We can still play the game. We can still go in, have a good time. It seems like they've temporarily broken some of the bots. It's only going to take these guys to fix their cheats when they get bored enough to just go back to botting again. Right? And TF2 still has a shitload of cheaters. They have a shitload of cheaters. They got a fuckload of bots. It's like Valve needs to ramp up their game more, right? I mean, at this point, give TF2 to another third-party developer and then absorb that third-party developer into Valve like they did with CSGO. CSGO just had a massive vac wave. They just got rid of a shitload of people. Tens of millions of dollars worth of skins vac banned because they even hit like the hard-coded cheats that you got to spend the big bucks for. They managed to detect all of that shit. They're not going to do it for TF2, though. Because they don't need to, because the game still earns them, roughly, the same amount of money anyway. So why bother putting in that effort, unless you get enough people to bark at you on Twitter? It's fucking dumb, man. God, so fucking stupid. It's the Valve cycle. We are here. I'm going to post this picture again, we are here. Most people seem to have forgiven Valve, but now we're going to slip back into Valve not really doing all that much, aside from Scream Fortress and Smithsmiths, and then who knows what it's going to be. My guess is crickets. They have, again, no reason to do anything for this game. Keeps earning them money. That hat box was decent enough, and pray to God they keep adding decent cosmetics for Scream Fortress, but again, I don't fully expect it. You can just keep going. I hope they keep doing it, but I really do not expect it. I really don't. I wish I could be more positive, man. And again, it's like it's not fun being negative Nancy. I wish I couldn't be negative Nancy, but God almighty, I need some kind of indication that they're doing something more. And they haven't given that to us. They really haven't. All of the rumors you hear, I heard this dumb rumor. I heard a dumb rumor of like, oh, there's a team of people working on the game. They're fixing the code. No, they're not. Valve doesn't tell us shit. For years, ever since Valve became big, Valve continues to not tell us shit. They will never tell us what they're working on. They'll never tell us what they're fixing. They will have their lips sealed. That has been their policy since day one. And people fail to realize that. So whatever you hear about rumors of working on the game, of them adding new stuff, you don't know shit. We only know the little trickle of information we tend to get from the guy working on the game right now, or just whatever happens to leak out very sparingly, mind you. But then, of course, once we get that little trickle, it gets blown up into Lord knows what the fuck people interpret that as. My God. Oh, my Lord. Oh, God. Was it worth doing this? It probably was. Maybe I've said something people will probably, align with. I don't know. It's immensely frustrating to continue to see, like, people content. Like the big content creators are happy. Oh, look, we got Valve to tweet. It's just, but like, we're still in the same place. Still got bots, still got cheaters. Game's not being well attended to, except for one guy. Sucks, man. It really does. It really does. But I don't know. I guess that's it. I don't got much more to say. I mean, this wasn't a happy video. Admittedly it wasn't, and I know, and people will get on my case like, wow, you're so negative all the time. You're the same idiots that like to cherry pick everything I say and everything I make and only focus on the negative stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how to end this. I will say this though. I like TF2. I like the game. I'm going to keep playing it. And if you like the game, you should too. And I guess in the comment section, if you want to, I guess, interact, then tell me your thoughts. I mean, just tell me what you think. You know, what do you think? Where do you think this game's going? What do you think needs to be done? What do you think needs to be done? What do you think needs to be done? What else should Valve do? Let's give this motherfucker who's working on the game a few more suggestions that maybe he can relay over to Valve, because he's honestly our only direct line. So it may as well try to do something productive than just be, you know, a downer this entire video. It's something, right? It's something. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate all of your support. And please keep an eye out for... I have more videos coming down the line. I just wanted to get this off my chest. All of this stuff has just been bothering me lately. And, yeah, I don't know. Keep it real. Keep it real.